Okay. Gonna turn on.
Hope so. You can say book. Whether therefore ye eat or drink or whatsoever ye do, do all to the glory of God. Good evening and welcome to another edition of Nature's Way here on Waves 96.3 FM. I am Debbie and with me is Nebert, and we are here this evening to share some very important information with you as we continue our discourse on our gastrointestinal issues. And we recognize that a lot of persons have been having issues, these issues. So this is one of the reasons we decided that we will be looking at this topic for you. God has been gracious unto us, and I know some of you may be a bit chilly now, so I hope you stay in and stay warm because I don't want anybody to get sick, with this sudden change of temperature. And, we don't want you to get sick, so we want you to stay in and stay warm. Okay? Um, Welcome, Nebert.
Thank you. Thank you. Good to be here with you
Yes,
this
yes,
afternoon.
yes. And I say welcome because Nebert wasn't feeling so well, but God is good. God
Yes.
is so good. And we are grateful for his leading in our lives, and we are grateful for his healing hands in our lives. We are grateful. All right. So before we go any further, we're going to we're going to be yes, we're going to be praying so that we can begin properly our discourse this evening. Let us pray.
Our Father which art in heaven, we thank you for your presence with us. We pray that you will direct this program. We pray that all things will be done to your name's honor and glory. And as usual, we pray that those who hear and watch this program will be drawn closer to you and that you will speak to their hearts. For Christ's sake, we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Just to let you know, listeners and the viewers, that we may be experiencing a little disturbance in studio because it's a bit windy outside, and it's a bit windy, and the camera seemed to, and I don't know, but there's some shifting going on. So there sometimes you may be able to see and sometimes you may not be able to see. So I don't know. So just bear that in mind. But I hope you are able to hear, and if you are able to come on, just give us some information, some feedback, whether or not you are able to see or hear. All right. Okay, so we're going to be continuing our discussion on gastrointestinal issues, and we have to also remember that, God is our healer, and whatever remedies that He says that we are to use out there, which are the herbs, then He will work through them to heal us. So all we have to do is to trust His word, and He will do the rest. All right? Before we get into our discourse, course, though, I just want to share something with you from this wonderful book called The Ministry of Healing. And under the topic diet and health. And it says our bodies are built up from the food we eat. There is a constant breaking down of the tissues of the body. Every movement of every organ involves waste, and this waste is repaired from our food. Each organ of the body requires its share of nutrition. The brain must be supplied with its portion. The bones, muscles, and nerves demand theirs as well. It is a wonderful process that transforms the food into blood and uses this blood to build up the varied parts of the body. But this process is going on continually, supplying with life and strength each nerve, muscle, and tissue. So this wonderful work is going on in our bodies. So you see, it is very important what we eat, how we select our food. Those foods should be chosen that best supply the elements needed for building up the body. In this choice, appetite is not a safeguard. Through wrong habits of eating, the appetite has become perverted. Often it demands food that impairs health and causes weakness instead of strength. We cannot safely be guided by the customs of society. The disease and suffering that everywhere prevail are largely due to popular errors in regard to diet. In order to know what are the best foods, we must study God's original plan for man's diet. He who created man and who understands his needs pointed Adam his food, appointed Adam his food. Behold, he said, I have given you every herb yielding seed, and every tree in which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed. To you it shall be for food. Genesis 1 and verse 29. Upon leaving Eden to gain his livelihood by tilling the earth under the curse of sin, man received permission to also eat the herb of the field. Genesis 3 and verse 18. Grains, fruits, nuts, and vegetables constitute the diet chosen for us by our Creator. And I'm going to repeat that. Grains, fruits, nuts, and vegetables constitute the diet chosen for us by our Creator. These foods, prepared in a simple and natural manner as possible, are the most helpful and nourishing. They impart a strength, a power of endurance, and a vigor of intellect that are not afforded by a more complex and stimulating diet. Okay? So, God, our Creator, has chosen the food that we are supposed to eat. We are supposed to eat the grains and the nuts and the vegetables
And fruits.
and fruits. These are the food that God has um, approved
Yeah.
for the bodies that He has made. All right. And I just want to let you know that the materials contained in this presentation this afternoon is informative in nature and is not intended to serve as diagnosis, treatment, or prevention or cure for any specific health condition of our listeners or our viewers. We give no guarantee of nor assume any liability for any outcome of the use of this information. Here at Nature's Way, we simply share because we care. This is general information and we just share it with you. It has been proven and tested, and we share this information with you so that we all can be healthy. Let us practice these things so that we can be healthy healthy people, fit and ready to do God's work. Okay?
Yes.
Mhm.
What you read earlier is so very important, um, because whenever we are ill, we go right back to the original diet that God gave to us.
Isn't that amazing though?
Every time we're
Every
ill,
time we get ill, we go back to the original diet.
that is the diet that heals us.
Yes.
Fruits, nuts, grains, vegetables,
Mm-hmm.
is what we always go back to.
Mm-hmm.
That causes the body to be
To
healed.
heal
And also, we go back to the 8 laws of
of
health,
health. Right.
because along with the fruits, nuts, grains, and vegetables, the 8 laws of health contribute greatly to our healing. And just to remind you of what the 8 laws of health are,
Mm-hmm.
it is proper nutrition, good exercise, water, sunlight, temperance, clean, fresh air, rest, and godly trust. That's the 8 laws of health. And whenever we are ill, sometimes just a little sunshine, or just a little rest, or just eating the right things, as we say, go back to the original,
Mm-hmm.
or just drink water properly,
Mm-hmm.
um, is what we need. But most importantly, we need to ensure that our relationship with God is at the place where it is supposed to be. You're building it up, because godly trust is always important to receive proper healing. We must trust God to deal with the body, to heal the body that He has made. Remember that it is God who made it, and it is God who knows how to uphold it and to keep it right.
Mm-hmm.
And so we believe what He says and we follow His instructions at every time, every
Yes.
possible time.
Yes. So we're going to be looking at intestinal cramps. This is what we're going to start with this evening because um, we looked at some other issues before, like gallstones and biliary colic and so on. So we're going to be continuing with intestinal cramps this afternoon. So the symptoms for intestinal cramps is intense pain in the intestines.
Mhm.
Yes, that's the symptom. Now, the cause, now this is a spasm of the muscle covering the intestines,
Mhm.
and it tends to accompany gastroenteritis, colitis, irritable bowel syndrome, spastic constipation, and other intestinal problems. So, once you are experiencing any of these, you know that you are experiencing intestinal cramps. Now, there are some herbs that we can use to alleviate this problem.
Mm.
And the some herbs you use to relax the intestinal walls and stop the excessive movement of the digestive tract. And these herbs include catnip flowers. What you're going to do an infusion of catnip flowers with leaves and the flowers and the leaves, which helps to calm the diarrhea and colic spasm usually associated with it. All right.
Yes, and calming the diarrhea
Mm-hmm.
is in other words to stop it.
To stop
All
it,
right.
yes,
And
yes.
one of the things that we use here, well, some of the things that we can use here in Jamaica,
Mm-hmm.
the herbs that we can use are guava leaves, but it
Mm-hmm.
has to be like more than a handful of guava leaf, fresh guava leaves, so like a cup or a cup and a half of water,
Mm-hmm.
and boil for about half an hour, to ensure that all of the nutrients that are in the leaves go into the water with a covered pot. They cover the pot so the liquid is supposed to be thick,
Yeah,
and it won't taste so nice. It will be bitter.
definitely not.
And so to avoid the bitterness, sometimes you can put a little bit of mint in it, uh, or even some sauce of leaf too. But
Mm-hmm.
it will help to alleviate this problem. So guava leaves help for that. Also, sweets of leaves also help with that process as well. Handful or two handfuls, handful of sweets of leaves. Some people call it sugar apple
Yeah.
leaves. to a cup and a half of water, boil for the same amount of time, but the liquid is supposed to be thick when you are finished with it. Um, and you just wait until it cools and then you drink it. It will stop the flow, they
Yes.
stop the diarrhea, right?
Yes.
But
And
it won't do it immediately, but it will do it over time. There's another remedy that in Jamaica we use, but we that persons in Jamaica use, but we don't encourage it. It is to parch flour and eat it, but parch white flour and eat it. But we do not encourage that because um, what that does is that it has there are persons who are lactose, not lactose. There are persons who can't eat certain
gluten
type of gluten. Yes,
intolerance.
some persons are gluten intolerant, and it will cause a problem to exacerbate.
Mhm.
And there are certain other things that happens to your body. For example, it stops it for a longer than usual time, and so
So
you
then you would say it binds you up,
binds you up, binds you up, and so we don't encourage that.
causes
Yeah,
constipation.
because that so we don't want to encourage that any at all. We would prefer to use the herbal remedy for that purpose. Also, there are some persons who will just drink water and just ensure that whatever is
System is
causing the
flushed.
problem is flushed.
Mhm.
So you flush it out. But you have to come to the place where you try to determine what the cause is so that you can provide the proper remedy.
Yes.
So never try to provide the remedy without knowing the cause, because you might possibly be exacerbating the problem.
Yes. Yes. Thank you, Nebert. Also, you can use flaxseed. You can use tormentil, passion flower, and rue. And what these do, they calm colic pain and spasm in the
Mm.
intestines. An infusion of the flower heads of German chamomile. This has an antispasmodic effect on the bowels. So these are some of the herbs, along with what Nebert just shared, that you can use to, you know,
To ease
to
intestinal
ease the
cramps.
intestinal cramps,
Yes.
the diarrhea, yeah, as well.
Other herbs that you can use as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be giving you some
Jamaica,
some that you can find real easily,
yeah,
because some of these you might have to go into a health food
health
store to
food store
purchase.
to purchase.
Even though they grow in Jamaica in the wild, but sometimes we are not so familiar with them. We are more familiar with some of the regular ones that Jamaican are used to. So there is a herb called milk thistle. Sometimes it's called blessed thistle. Any intestinal problems, any intestinal intestine is hurting you, or anything like that, it grows almost everywhere. Some thistles are on it, so we don't use it as often because of the fact that thistles are on it. What we call something like a maca.
Hmm. So be careful when you're
So
harvesting it,
it is
because
hard
you
to
have to wear
harvest.
a hard
You
gloves
have to
to
wear
get
hard
it.
gloves. All right. There is also a remedy that most Jamaican homes have, especially a grandmother, or if your mother might have it. All right. You ever go to some houses and you see them soaking pimento seeds, we soak pimento seed in alcohol, and sometimes they put a little bit of hemp in it as well, and they soak that over a period of time. So when you have intestinal cramps, sometimes they use it to rub the stomach, or they give you like half of a teaspoon to drink, and it feels warm going down,
Hmm.
and it usually gets rid of that problem as well. Sometimes the problem is a nerve issue, and so like you mentioned earlier about the German chamomile. Um, in addition to that, you can use piaba, and not just the passion fruit flower, but you can use the passion fruit leaf
Leave. Hmm.
and saucer. All right, so piaba, passion fruit leaves, and saucer. All right, and also depending on what the problem is, as I said before, we have to determine what the cause is so that we can know how to apply it. Sometimes it's just to drink some charcoal, but we have to know, because it's not every time the charcoal will work. right? Because it's not a problem that calls for charcoal. It may require something else. So the best thing is to determine the cause, look at what you have done differently, say what you have eaten differently, what your lifestyle is say in the last 24 hours or the time that you had the problem, and then try to determine what it is that you did differently so that you can determine the cause. Because once you determine the cause, then you
It's
can
easier
begin
to
to,
treat.
yes, then you can begin to apply the remedy.
Yes. So these herbs that mentioned, these are the herbs that help to relax the intestinal walls and stop the excessive movement of the digestive tract. Now, herbs that reduce intestinal fermentation rather, like bilberry,
Mm.
alfalfa, angelica, anise, thyme, and eucalyptus. So these are soothing herbs. All right. So they reduce the intestinal fermentation. Now there are other herbs that reduce intestinal gas,
Right.
and these are peppermint,
Mhm.
cumin,
Mhm.
um, tarragon, black poplar, fennel, caraway, and garlic.
Right. And you can add to that
Mm,
list Pawdiac.
Podiaco. Mhm.
Pawdiaco. Pawdiaco grows in Jamaica prolifically.
Yeah.
It's just to know it, right? So it is the Pawdiaco bark that you use. Some persons use the leaf, but it's the Pawdiaco bark. Some persons also use the flowers,
Mhm.
but the Pawdiaco bark is good for that purpose. It is an antibiotic, but it is good to help with the intestinal colic and gas and so
Yes.
on. Yeah.
Yes. And then my encouragement to you is here is the only safeguard for individual integrity, for the purity of the home, the well being of society, or the stability of the nation. Amidst all life's perplexities and dangers and conflicting claims, the one safe and sure rule is to do what God says.
Yeah.
Right? And as we have read from the Ministry of Healing, we have shared with you the diet. So we just need to be obedient
Yeah.
to,
And
to God's word.
right.
We just need to be obedient to his word. Um, the book of Corinthians, First Corinthians 9 and verse 24, speaks of, it says, let me just read what it says. It says, know ye not that they which run in a race run all, but one receiveth the prize? So run that ye may obtain. So this race that we are running is the race for health, for to be healthy. So we have to be obedient.
Yes.
And the prize that we will obtain is good health.
Yes.
So I'm encouraging you to do what God says.
Yeah.
That is the one safe and sure rule that we can live by. All right? Follow
And
the 8 laws of health,
right.
follow the diet that God has prescribed for
Right.
us.
Right. And this text in the Bible that we normally quote when we are doing this program, First
Mhm.
Corinthians 10 and verse 31, it
Mhm.
says, whether therefore you eat or drink or whatsoever you do, do all to the
Glory
glory
of
of
God.
God. And
Yeah.
Psalm 104 and verse 14 says that the herbs are for the service of mankind. That is why I believe God added it to our diets,
Mhm.
um, so that um, in addition to grains, nuts, and fruits, the vegetables, the herbs, these things contribute to a healthy lifestyle. And so we have to bear this in mind that all the time, much of the problems that we face on a daily basis could be avoided
Yes, that's
if
true.
we had just stuck to, just stick to the diet that God gives us.
Yeah.
But as that we read earlier, the foods that we eat contributes to whether or not we are healthy. And so we have to ensure that we always eat the right things so that we can be healthy.
Yes. All right, so we're going to be looking at the other issue is malabsorption. Now, the most common symptoms include bulky, pale, foul smelling feces, flatulence and abdominal bloating, weight loss, diarrhea, abdominal pain with cramps, fatigue, and weakness. So, these are the symptoms of malabsorption. Now, malabsorption occurs when the small intestine cannot absorb nutrients from food passing through it. If the problem is not solved, certain nutritional deficiencies may develop, which can result in anemia, lack of B12 and iron, or nerve damage. Digestive enzymes or juices may be inadequate or missing.
Mhm.
This may be due to chronic pancreatitis and cystic fibrosis. Those with persons who are lactose intolerant, they lack an enzyme needed to break down the sugar from milk. And other causes may include celiac disease, Crohn's disease, and particular infections such as giardiasis. And these are the things that will cause malabsorption or result from malabsorption.
Yes.
And of course, we have some natural remedies for
Yes.
this
Before we
condition.
get to the natural remedies,
Yeah.
though, but if we remember that the digestive process starts in the mouth,
Mhm.
and so the gastric juice begins to work right there with certain foods, of course,
Mhm.
and then it travels. As it travels along, digestive juices continue to work down the esophagus to the stomach. But
Mhm.
sometimes a stage is missing, or one or two stages, or three stages are missing. So the gastric juices don't get the opportunity to work the way that it should work because certain processes are bypassed.
Mhm.
All right, so we have to be very careful as to the things that we put into our bodies, because sometimes they are damaging our system and we are not even aware of it. Um, and so there are certain foods that you should not eat because of the fact that they damage the process or cause one or two of them to be missing, so the process of missing. For example, the mouth, esophagus, stomach, and then the process continues to the liver, small intestine, large intestine, and so on. And the process of digestion. Remember that a whole set of organs are connected to the liver, that are also included in the digestive process, and it finally ends up in the large intestine, go out through the anus and things that are not needed. So what you find is that if one of the process is missing, then we have a problem, because our bodies will not be able to absorb certain type of foods that we eat. For example, the B12 and the iron. And if iron, if it is cannot absorb iron, then most likely you will also have a problem with zinc. And so we have to be very careful as to how we treat our bodies.
Yes, and one of the major issues for malabsorption is the food that we eat,
Yes, yes.
because we just eat food.
Mm.
Persons just eat food, just eat some food
Mm.
without even thinking of the nutritional value of the food.
Right.
You eat it because it looks good and it tastes nice,
Mm.
you know. But we have to make sure that we stop eating processed, fried, white floured, sugared, and junk food.
Yeah, and this is important because whenever you're hungry, you want to stop at the junk food place
Yeah.
and buy junk food, or you go into a supermarket or a shop and you find that some of the things you buy, bread, biscuits, and all other types of processed foods. Remember, processed foods are devoid of fiber. There are no fiber in processed foods because the fiber is processed out. All right, so once you begin to eat those, then your body immediately goes into a deterioration mode,
Yeah.
and so the nutrients that you're supposed to be getting from the natural foods, you're not getting it because the processed foods don't have it.
Mhm.
Also, when you eat the processed white flavored foods, one of the things you'll find is that you develop certain type of allergies later on, and certain type of things you can't eat. Yeah,
Mhm.
and so you really and truly have to be just watch the things that you eat.
Yeah, because a lot of times you just eat food
Mm.
and you don't get anything from the food that you eat.
Right.
So there is nothing that your body gets from it.
Mm.
So there is nothing to absorb.
Right.
And then some of the things that are absorbed are not good for the body.
Right. And there are some non-foods that we eat. Some things that are sold as food, but they are not
Not
food,
food. Hmm.
and so your body does not benefit in any way at all.
Right.
And so this is why we say we have to watch the things that you put in your mouth,
Hmm.
because you would expect that the digestive process would begin in your mouth and continues on down through the process. But in some instances, the digestive juices work on something else and not the food, because it cannot process the food, so the walls of your stomach suffer as a result.
Yeah. So we are encouraged to eat nourishing diet of fruits, vegetables, whole grains, nuts, and legumes. Now, make sure you have your vitamins and minerals, and these are obtained from the foods that we eat. So it is very important, extremely important, that we eat those foods that give us these minerals and these vitamins. A lot of persons will tell you that they take supplements, but we like to encourage. We would rather that we get the food from the the one that we we eat. We get these minerals and these vitamins from the food that we eat
Right.
instead of. Now there are times when you have to take the supplements. Like when you are sick and you want the quick the amounts. I mean, like the dosage to be fast and a lot, because some of the foods you would have to eat a lot of it at one sitting in order to get the required nutrients. So this is why it is important, listeners and viewers, that you eat the foods on a daily basis that produce these minerals and vitamins and these nutrients, right? So that you don't have to take the supplements on a regular basis. But when you are sick and you need to, get your body healing, you can take the supplements, and then you continue with the foods that produce these supplements, these vitamin and minerals. All right.
Yes. Sometimes.
It.
Oh.
Mhm. No, and I was just saying that it is also important that we obtain adequate rest and outdoor exercise. And Nebert mentioned earlier the 8 laws of health, and these are also a part of the 8 laws of health,
Mm.
because our bodies need to be, you know, moving, or we say it in a simple form, our blood need to be pumping. All right, our metabolism need to be working. So we need to do the exercise. It doesn't have to be vigorous, and it doesn't have to take a long time. You can do up to 10 minutes of exercise, simple movements, and make sure you get adequate rest and sunlight in order to help your body to function at its optimum. Mhm.
So one of the things that I always recommend that persons do is to, depending on how ill they are, to use smoothies.
Mhm.
Right? Because when you use the liquid goes directly to the smoothie. Liquid goes directly to your bloodstream. All right, so it is good to use those. If you know the foods to eat or the type of foods to use to make the smoothies, then you won't even need so much of the additives that, like the lack of the supplements.
Mm.
You won't even need some of the supplements because you will be using the smoothies directly. So when you use a smoothie, it goes directly to your blood. It is important to try to understand this so that we can know what foods or what type of smoothies, because there are some persons who just like they will go and make a smoothie but they don't know what is in it, exactly what you're doing. You put things together, but in sometimes instead of healing your body, it might cause problems. So you have to know exactly which ones to use so that you can know how to put it together when you're not feeling well. And sometimes you would do it if it will help with a fast. So sometimes you go on a smoothie fast. So the only thing you take is smoothie and of course water, right?
Mhm.
And so your body will be at a place where the thing just go directly to your bloodstream and will help. But you have to know whatever smoothie to
It's
to use.
important.
Yeah, very important.
Yes. God desires from all his creatures the service of love, service that springs from an appreciation of his character. He takes no pleasure in a forced obedience, and to all his grants to and to all he grants freedom of will that they may render him voluntary service.
Forced obedience leads to character of a rebel.
Of a rebel. Right. Yes.
Yes.
So God isn't always
Choice
encouraging us
to make
to
choices.
make the right choice.
Yeah.
He has put before us life and death,
Mhm.
and he says, choose life.
Right.
So you have nothing to lose.
Right. And notice a child when you force a child, they become rebellious.
Mhm.
So it is hard to discipline a rebellious child.
Right.
So you give them the opportunity to make a choice. So you would give them information
Yeah.
so that they know how to choose. And usually they choose the right things.
Yeah. This other topic that we are looking at is dumping syndrome. And
Mhm.
dumping syndrome, it's very concerning because the dumping syndrome, the symptom of the dumping syndrome, is when the food entering the stomach is suddenly dumped into the small
Yeah,
intestine
similar to
instead,
malabsorption. Yeah.
yes, instead of remaining in the stomach
Mhm.
to be initially digested. And one of the reasons you would have this is when you have this would be an effect of stomach surgery, you know,
Mhm.
and this can continue for quite some time. Now, stomach surgery is discouraged because it can cause other complications.
Right. So the important thing is to find out what is
What
the
is the
cause of the
issue?
problem that you're having.
Hmm.
Find the cause first. Remember, we always said look at the cause.
Hmm.
Sometimes things deteriorate over a period of time, so you have to find what the cause is so that you can begin the process of fixing it.
Yeah.
Because this dumping syndrome is a very serious issue. Can you imagine if something goes in your mouth, goes through your esophagus, and just goes straight to your small intestine?
Hmm.
If it does that, then it means that a number of processes are going to be missed out, and your body
Hmm.
is missing out. For example, the food must go continue the digestive process in your stomach because further gastric juices are used in your stomach,
Hmm.
and then the liver and all of the organs associated with that, with the liver. Remember that your liver is not your liver is not just a liver. It has the pancreas in there, and the pancreas make the bile and glucogen and so on and so all of the organs in your digestive system are so very important. Um, your body must convert protein to amino acid because your body don't just use the protein, it uses the amino acid. Your body must convert the carbohydrate to the energy part of things. Either you get energy or you are stored as fat. And so and things are stored for further use in your body. So the process of digestion is very, very important. So a step should not be missed. So persons die from having the dumping syndrome because your body is missing out on nutrients.
Yeah. And the dumping syndrome is a common side effect of stomach surgery,
Right.
as we said, and this can continue for a while. So it is best that this is, so you see how important it is for us to take care of our bodies, take care of your stomach, the things that you put in your stomach so that they don't affect your stomach. Now, one of the cause is that because proteins are not properly digested, the small intestine becomes very acid.
Right.
Yet it requires an alkaline environment in which to function properly.
That's right.
Anemia and osteoporosis are frequent secondary results of the dumping syndrome. The best plan is to refuse a stomach operation. So you have to take care of it so that you don't reach to the point where you have to get a stomach surgery. Now, some of the remedies that you can use are you can take English bitters along with folic acid and pectin. Also, you can use, we have old woman bitters here, and neem and seed on the leaf. These are some of the herbs that you can use. Eat as carefully as you can. So you have to sit and you have to work out your diet. Eat as carefully as you can. Make sure you have that your diet is full with the vitamins and minerals that you need, that your body needs.
Right.
It is also recommended that after you eat, you just lie down for a half an hour after each meal. This not on a regular basis.
Yes,
This
for
is
this
only
problem, yes, for
when
the
you
experience dumping.
experience the dumping syndrome. Eat small meals, which consist of very nourishing food. All right, and you do this because this syndrome can last for a long time.
Yes, and can lead to
and
death.
it can lead to death.
Yes.
So it's best that you do it. And God is so amazing. He's a healer. He pray to him and he will heal you in the process. He will heal you.
So this is why we always say that the original diet is so very good,
Yes.
because uh, if you were continuing with the original diet, which is fruits, nuts, grains, vegetable, then you would not need a surgery for your stomach, right?
Yeah.
But also, if you need healing for your stomach, then you need to go back to the original diet. Sometimes you need to coat your stomach, and this is done also from herbs. You use herbs to do this. When you coat the stomach, then the stomach can begin to heal, and so the gastric juices will not be deteriorating the walls of your stomach, um, because your stomach is coated.
Yes.
And so there are foods that you can eat. There are herbs that you can take. For example, slippery elm, you can use that. You can also use aloe vera. You can also use arrowroot, the derivative from arrows. This is the starch. Just mix also the arrow starch and drink that, and that will coat your stomach, um, so that the gastric juices will not have deleterious effect on
Okay. So the encouragement is, and the reminder is that heart is the happiest that has Christ as an abiding guest. In this world, there is neither comfort nor happiness without Jesus. Oh, may we so live during this brief period of probationary life that we shall be with him throughout the ages to come. Luke 18 and verses 7 to 8.
it. Yes.
So we have to have Christ abiding in our hearts.
Mm. Just to say something on the brief period of probationary time.
Yes.
Um, we are now in what we call the investigative judgment. And on the Monday program, it was discussed that right now the sanctuary is being cleansed. And since the sanctuary is being cleansed, our lives are now being investigated. Um, in other words, write, we determine where we are going. We write our own destiny. And the period in which we live right now, our a record of us, well, down through the ages, a record of us is being kept. And this determines where we eventually end up. Um, it is not like what you see people say. What happens now is that what people say is that when everybody dies, they go to heaven. There's no such thing. You remain in the grave, and at the coming of Jesus Christ, those who are righteous will be resurrected and go to heaven. Those who are alive and righteous will be caught up together to meet the Lord in the air, and that's a part of the process. But this is why the probationary time that we are in is not a long period of time. Um, if you notice that when you go to work any place and they put you on probation, 3 months, 6 months the most, they don't put you on a long, extensive probationary time. It's the same with God. It's not a long time, and so you have to ensure that the way we go about things now, we do it with a purpose. This is why our bodies are made the way that it is made, because you cannot continue to deteriorate, put things in the bodies that deteriorated without suffering the consequences, because this is like your body is on probation, so to speak. So you have to ensure that since that is happening, then you eat those foods that will contribute to your wellness.
Yeah. So we're going to be looking at um, ileocecal valve syndrome. And the symptom for ileocecal valve syndrome is diarrhea, fatigue, constipation, irregular bowel movements, lower right bowel tenderness, acne, migraines, and duodenal ulcers. Now, and your duodenal is your colon. Now, you may say diarrhea, constipation, but not everyone will experience all
Both at the
or
same time.
both at once.
Mhm.
Some persons may, this minute you um, may experience diarrhea, and the next minute you may experience constipation. So these are the symptoms of ileocecal valve syndrome. Now the causes: the stomach empties into the small intestine, which in turn empties into the large colon.
Mhm.
The ileocecal valve is a sphincter, which is circular. This is a circular muscle that closes the ileum so that matter in the large colon cannot flow back into the small intestine. Now, this valve also keeps the digested material in the small intestine until all the nutrients have been absorbed. Then bile is released, mixed with residue, and the valve opens so that all can pass into the large bowel. Now, the problem occurs when the valve opens, letting material flow back into the small intestine. So there's a reverse inflow. All right, so this is where the problem
Right,
lies.
right. It is similar to when persons say they have acid reflux.
Mm-hmm.
Things are made to travel one
One
way in your body,
direction,
one
yes.
direction. So if something happens and it comes back,
Mm,
then we have an issue that we need to fix.
yeah,
You know. Yeah.
right. So, of course, there is the natural way you can use for to remedy this situation. So fasting on juices for 2 to 3 days will help speed healing of the intestinal tract. All right, so the first remedy you're going to do is to fast. And you're going to fast on juices. So you're not going to eat any food. You're going to just use the juices. All right?
Mm,
Juices for 2 to 3 days, and this will help speed up the healing of the intestinal tract.
right. What fasting does, you see, is that
Mhm.
every time we eat food, some of our food actually goes into storage, right? And so, um, when we go on a fast, it is those foods that are placed in storage that actually, supports our body, and also our body has a chance to rebuild when you're going to fasting.
Yeah.
What the juices does is that it goes directly to your bloodstream, and so it does not remain in your stomach for a very long time,
Mhm.
and it goes directly to your bloodstream, strengthens your blood, carries the food there, and whatever problems you have in the parts of your body, 'cause when it goes in your bloodstream, your blood travels throughout your entire body, by way of arteries and so on. The arteries carry oxygen and nutrients, and the blood, and it circulates throughout your entire body. It also carries, yeah, the air, the oxygen, and
Mhm.
so, and it takes the vein, or takes back the carbon dioxide and so on. But because this circulation is taking place through your body, and it's a part of the digestive process as well, and that goes into circulation, your cells are energized and revived if it is dead. So because it is energized and revived, then you have a situation where if you are ill, if there's any problem anywhere in your body, it is immediately rectified. Because our bodies were made to heal itself.
Yeah.
Your body is made to heal itself.
Mhm.
And the reason we use herbs is to help our bodies to heal itself. The foods that we eat are supposed to be healing foods
Mhm.
as well. And so, I think of this: if the food that you're eating is not helping to heal you, then it means you're eating the wrong food. So your
Yes.
food is supposed to help to heal you,
Right.
and so this is why we keep going back to the original diet, and also to the 8 laws of health.
Mhm.
Just let me repeat the 8 laws of health. The first thing is the proper nutrition.
Mhm.
You make sure that you eat the things that you're supposed to eat. Don't eat non-food. Only eat food. All right. That is food with fiber. Don't eat
Mhm.
food that a processed food does not have fiber. So eat proper nutrition. Make sure you get adequate exercise. Make sure you drink a lot of water. Make sure you get sunlight. Make sure that you don't overdo anything. Temperance, proper air, rest, and godly trust, because it is God who enables all of these things to happen to your bodies to be healed. So, many of the problems that we are now facing, we would not have them. We would not have them if we were eating right,
Right.
and if we're doing the things that we're doing. There are some things that happens to us that we cannot avoid
Yes,
it
like
happening.
environmental factors are
Environmental factors.
play a
But one of the things we find is that things happen to you, but it does not stay
stay
long,
along with you.
because your body heals itself,
Mhm.
because you have been doing the right things all along. So your body heals itself. So make sure that you follow the proper diet.
And rest is very important
Right.
because sometimes you find that something may happen to you, and just by taking some rest,
Yeah, yeah, man.
it's
Or
it's
yeah, or
it's
sunlight.
yeah, or just going to the sun
Just
for a
going to the
few.
sun, and you find that you feel better.
Hmm.
Especially those persons who have cancers or tumors. Sometimes just going into the sun will cause you to feel better, because our bodies have a thing in there called chlorophyll, and the sun, the sunlight is what helps your body to produce chlorophyll. And so imagine if you're not in the sun for any period of time, that you're not producing chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is what is in the plants
Hmm.
that cause us to be healed. So why take it second and take it first hand?
Exactly.
This is the same thing we see of flesh food. Don't deal with second hand, because the second hand thing don't help you any at all. Deal with the
Mhm.
first hand thing.
Mhm.
But we must always eat vegetables. because our body is needed for healing purposes and for the service. You know, like when they go service a car, your body needs servicing as well, and the vegetables, the herbs does that to us.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. So also you can also take aloe vera gel and slippery elm in the process of healing.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you eat a diet that is high in fiber, as Nebert was just saying, and include whole grains. So emphasize fresh fruits as well and vegetables. Right? You can also add to your diet stewed prunes, figs, and raisins, and you can use these for breakfast. And then you make sure you have your intake of fruits and vegetables, and make sure your diet is high in fiber. You can also include antioxidants in the diet along with beta carotene. You can also make carrot juice and green with green yellow vegetables. You understand? So that you can have these nutrients in your bodies. All right, B complex, vitamin C, bioflavonoids, calcium, and magnesium. These are very important. And the oil, the recommended oils is flaxseed oil
Mm-hmm.
and possibly plant digestive enzymes like bromelain and papain.
Mm-hmm.
Also, avoid constipating foods
Mm-hmm.
such as dairy products, meat, cheese, soft bread, processed starchy foods, and stop eating meat. And I'm re-emphasizing this, as Nebert said earlier. You don't need to eat the meat, because the meat, what it does, it ferments before it reaches the large bowel.
Mm-hmm.
All
Large
right?
intestine,
The
yeah.
large intestine, yes, what it does. So we have a long stomach,
Yes.
right? And before the meat gets to your stomach,
Fermentation.
it starts
Mm-hmm.
fermenting. And then
Mm-hmm.
this is why sometimes you eat and you feel sick, and
Mm-hmm.
years after, months after you eat, you keep eating the same thing.
Yeah.
These meat that some of them are so diseased,
Mm-hmm.
and we get sick.
Yeah.
And then
Because
we
if
wonder
you,
why we
yeah,
get sick.
if you look at the tribe, right? The tribe, the large and the small one, you'll notice that for, like, for example, a goat or thing, it is a lot. As a people eating them and so on and cleaning them out, it is a lot, you know. The human being's stomach, intestine, or tribe is longer than that. It's much longer than what you see in all of these animals.
Animals, yes.
And so probably one of the shortest ones are dogs. So the shortest ones are dogs, but the human being is much longer. So before the process of digestion is completed, fermentation begins to take place. We don't want that to happen. This is why we keep going back to the original diet of fruits, nuts, grains, vegetables. And so, and then we eat 5 hours apart at least,
At least,
so
yeah.
that it gets time to be digested.
Mhm.
So that when you eat in the morning and then you will eat in the evening, you're not banking up things upon each other. That
Early
yeah,
evening.
the
Mhm.
process of digestion is completed for one before you begin the other.
Mhm.
This is so very important,
Mhm.
because if it is not completed, then you're going to have fermentation.
Yeah.
um, Rum is fermented. Alcohol is, in general, is fermented.
Mhm.
It will also happen in your body.
Mhm.
And so you might see persons who look, they don't drink alcohol. They don't. They say, "Well, I don't drink alcohol," but they still look drunk, and they're behaving as if they are drunk, and your body is not performing at full maximum because of the fermentation that has taken place in the body.
Yeah.
And think of the fact that you're not able to think carefully or to carry out some of the activities that you would want to carry out properly. And all of this is because fermentation has taken place. Once fermentation has taken place in your body, then you're going to have a lot of health issues to deal with. And to correcting them might not be as easy as one, two, three, because over a period of time you would have been doing the thing. And so you to correct it may take a little while, and some persons might not last that long.
Hmm.
The
Exactly.
corrective
So,
process.
yes. In keeping God's commandments, there is great reward, even in this life.
Mm.
Our conscience does not condemn us. Our hearts are not at enmity with God, but at peace with Him. All right? Appendicitis, acute appendicitis, is what we're going to be looking at next. And the
Mhm.
symptoms include pain and tenderness in the lower right area of the abdomen, vomiting, and low grade fever. Now, in children, the fever can be quite high. The first symptom usually is pain. There may be tenderness with pressure. Quickly, the pain becomes severe, but sometimes the pain is first felt all over the abdomen, and it may be especially strong over the navel. But pain and tenderness with pressure are not enough symptoms to determine that it is appendicitis.
Mm.
There will also be rigidity and tenderness of the muscles of the abdominal wall, especially on the right side, just a little below the level of the navel. Now, coughing and deep breathing will make the pain worse. The attack may or may not begin with a chill, but generally, some or much fever is present from the beginning of the attack, along with constipation, vomiting, loss of appetite, nausea, and a tendency while lying in bed to draw up the right leg to relieve tension on the sore side. All right. Now, the appendix is located on the right side of the abdomen, about halfway between the point of the hip bone and the navel. Causes of appendicitis include constipation and overeating, and eating rich, complicated foods and non foods, and foods that are low in fiber, which would result in the constipation.
Mm.
The resulting fermentation and digestive upset can produce appendicitis as well. Older people are less likely to experience appendicitis, but if they do, the danger of rupture is more likely
Mm.
for older persons. All
Mm.
right. Now, if the appendix ruptures, the infection will spill into the abdominal cavity, causing peritonitis. Now, when this happens, if there's a rupture, you have to take the person to the hospital immediately.
Mhm. A surgery has to be done.
Yes, because the person, in order to help the person not to die.
Yeah.
Mm, mm,
If it ruptures, it's contamination that
yes.
will happen in your gut.
Yes.
Um, and the organs in our gut are delicate. They are not like what we would think. Sometimes persons watch movies and so on, as the persons walking with spilled guts and so on. But
Mm,
this is not how it is in real life. Um, if you notice that these organs are on the inside, they are not displayed on the outside. Like for example, your arm is on the outside, but these organs are on the inside. And they are more than likely at places where they are protected,
protected, yes.
either by the rib or by some cage or something. Right? They are at protected places, which means that these things are delicate, and when the appendix ruptures, it spills into these areas. A mopping up process has to take place.
Mhm.
So there are no herbs that you can probably use to cause this mopping up thing to
Mhm.
take place. It has to be that you have to be rushed to the hospital where the surgery can
That's an
immediately be done.
immediate surgery. Yeah.
Immediate surgery
Mhm.
is done where the mopping up now can take place so that contamination is not long and lasting in is not lasting in these areas
Yeah.
that it has spilled onto.
Mhm. And there is not much. There is no the only remedy for this, as you said, Nebert, is to get to the
Yeah,
hospital,
man, we
get
get to
to
the
a doctor,
surgery
to a
immediately.
surgeon.
Yeah,
All right, so you can't take any laxatives. You
no,
can't take
no.
any 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 warm beverage or
No.
anything like that,
Once
because
it
these
ruptures, you
will,
can't. Or if you
yes,
have, even if it is not ruptured,
and you are
stay away
having
from.
that acute
Right,
pain.
just stay away from warm
Yes.
beverages, especially
Hmm.
because in Jamaica, we have a tendency once we have a problem in our abdomen, we go drink some tea.
Uh-huh.
All right,
Yes.
so we
Yes.
we have to. This is why I say we have to be able to identify what is
Right.
happening.
This is one of the
So we
reasons
don't do that. Yeah.
the cause and the symptoms are
Hmm.
highlighted,
Yeah.
right? Because now the pain that you feel, you will feel a pain and a tenderness,
Hmm.
and it is at a at a at a specific local. It the pain and the tenderness is in the lower right area of the
Hmm.
abdomen,
Right.
right? And then there are things that follow. You will have vomiting, and
Hmm.
you will have low grade fever.
Hmm.
So it is it is advised that you look at the symptoms carefully.
Yeah.
Look at, and as Nebert always say, the cause. Look at the
Hmm.
symptom and look at the cause.
Hmm.
All right. The symptoms will determine what condition you are undergoing,
Right.
and then depending on the situation, the cause, you determine the cause, and then you will know if you are able to fix it, if
Or
you
if you have to
need
go
to
to the
go to the
hospital. Yeah.
hospital.
Yeah.
All right.
So once ruptures take place, you have to
You
go to
have
that.
to go to the hospital,
And
and
it is important because
it's
that is immediate surgery.
yes, it is. Yes, it is. Um, just let us be confident in God. Let
Mm.
us have that trust in Him. Let your confidence in the enabling power of Christ increase daily. He alone can enable you to resist temptation. He alone can give you the guidance you need throughout the day. In His strength, you can be an overcomer. All right?
Mm.
So, in
Yeah.
everything that we do, we have to have
Yeah.
godly trust
Right.
and confidence
And
in
just to
Him.
yeah, and just to remind us that the appendix is one of the organs that are found in the thyroid. Is one of those thyroid organs.
Yeah.
So it is very important. The lymphatic system, the lymphatic system that prevents us from having disease. So the evolutionists will say
Mhm.
that there are organs in the body that you don't need, but God placed those organs in the body because it helps to fight disease. Because the minute sin entered this world, then all of these organs become so very important, help to fight disease. Disease come as a result of sin, and so the appendix is one of those organs in the lymphatic system. So we have to ensure that we keep it healthy, and of course, we needed the lymphatic system prevents us from having disease.
Mhm.
All right, so the lymphatic system is so very important.
Right. So we looked at acute
Appendicitis.
appendicitis. Now we're going to look at um, right, the
Appendix is a
chronic
lymphatic. Yes.
chronic appendicitis. Now the acute appendicitis is,
Hmm.
and chronic appendicitis, they are not the same. All
Hmm.
right. So the symptoms will be the same,
Hmm.
right? Mhm.
Hmm.
So the pain and tenderness in the lower right area of the abdomen, and of course vomiting. Now this occurs ever so often. This mean this the chronic appendicitis. It's not an acute appendicitis, but chronic appendicitis. Relatively few individuals have ongoing problems with their appendix, which do not come into the acute phase, but some do as well. Oh, good evening, Terry. Welcome, our first guest on YouTube. Nice to have you, Terry. Good afternoon. Yes, so um, chronic appendicitis is an an on and off again symptom. So it's on this time and it's off, and this is the type of problem with chronic appendicitis. Some individuals, it might be for best, it's encouraged that they remove it rather than to suffer with it for this month and then next month, and some persons would rather to go and do a surgery to remove it. Now, if used at all, now there are some things that you can do to some natural remedies that you can do to alleviate the pain and all of that. All right. Now you can do a castor oil pack, and what you're going to do, you can prepare the pack. So you can put the castor oil, you can put it like in maybe a bag or so, and you can warm it and put it on it. Now what you're going to do is you're going to place the folded wool flannel in a Pyrex glass or enamel baking pan. You're going to pour the castor oil over the cloth until it is saturated, and then you're going to heat it. You can eat it in the oven, but get it don't get it but get it no hotter than you can touch, because if you get it too hot, then this will be detrimental for you. All right. Or you can, instead of heating it in the oven, you can put the neutral pack on the appendix area and place a heating pad over it. All right. That could be a little safer for you, because if you eat it too much in the oven, you may cause burning, and you don't want that. So you can put put it on the area, and then you put a heating pad over it. Next, put a waterproof covering over the pack. Now, over this, place a hot water bottle half filled with hot water. And remember, when we were doing the hydrotherapy, I told you that never fill up the hot water bottle to the top. All right, because this may cause spilling, and then you'll get burned. Right. So make sure it is half filled. Wrap a bath towel around the body to secure the water bottle and the pack. Cover everything with a heavy blanket or a sleeping bag to hold in the warmth. All right. Now you are going to remove it 1 to 2 hours later, in order to avoid a rash. Clean the oil off the skin with a solution of 2 teaspoons of baking soda to 1 quart of water. And you're going to do this gently. Do not try to wash the castor oil out of the pack or any cloth that is involved. Castor oil cannot be washed out. That's it. So you have to use this for that purpose. Now you can use the same pack again later on by adding some more castor oil and reheating it. It can be reused for at least 6 weeks. Do not spill the castor oil on anything that is valuable. As we said, it cannot come out. Use the pack for 3 to 4 nights, and then not use it for 3 nights. So you do it for 3 to 4 nights, then you give it a break for about 3 nights, then you begin again. Now, aloe vera juice can help relieve the symptoms as well. And remember, we spoke about the slippery elm. The slippery elm tea is also very soothing. Now, stop eating processed, fried, and junk foods. Stop eating all meat and meat products. All right. So this is what and for every situation that we every condition, health condition that we find, is that your diet plays a very important part.
Yes, yes. One of the reasons we use castor oil is that castor oil has the ability to penetrate the skin
Yes.
and to go through the pores directly to the cause of the problem
Mm-hmm.
and to fix it actually.
Yes.
And so we use this is why we use the aloe vera. Also, this is why we use castor oil. Aloe
Just
vera has the ability to do it as well, but I believe the castor oil does it just a little bit better
yeah,
than
because the
that.
castor oil
You
has
know, you
this
know.
ability to break up things.
Yeah, man, it
Yeah,
penetrates and breaks up.
penetrates and breaks up.
Yes, and cause the healing to take place
Yeah.
in the body.
Mhm.
So remember, this is chronic. This is not when the rupture has taken place.
Mhm.
So the rupture has not happened yet. All right, it is not acute. The rupture, we're looking at the fact that the rupture has not yet taken place. Because once the rupture has taken place, then you need to go to the hospital to get treatment done.
Mhm.
And so you have to ensure that you are able to recognize, to identify the periods
Mhm.
that you are going through,
Mhm.
whether it is chronic or whether
Or
it is acute
acute.
or whether
Mhm.
or not it has been ruptured.
Mhm.
Because it has been ruptured, your window of help is become very small,
Mhm.
because contamination takes place within your gut, and you don't want you don't want your organs in that area to be contaminated. And so you have to rush to the hospital where they perform that surgery, and this a washout process takes place, right?
Mhm.
Sapping up, getting rid of all of that thing that is in it.
Yeah.
Remember that these are organs. The lymphatic organs are organs that gets rid of disease in your body.
Mhm.
And so if they rupture, we have a problem.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So we can have a daily living experience in the power of Christ and his willingness to save to the utmost at all that come, the utmost, all that come to God by him. Let him be the center of your affections.
Hmm.
He is the best friend you could ever have. Ephesians 2 and verse 8.
Yeah.
Now we are continuing with our gastrointestinal issues, but we are looking at the bowel
Hmm.
this time, and so we are going to be we most of the symptoms we mentioned include constipation.
Mm.
So we are going to be looking at constipation itself.
Right.
Right. So the symptoms of constipation is where the stools are or your feces is
Hmm.
hard, dry, and infrequent,
Hmm.
or sometimes why
Hmm.
not at all. It is difficult to have a bowel movement. That's it. Other symptoms may include abdominal discomfort, lack of energy, a dull headache, poor appetite, and a low back pain.
Yeah. And we can understand why this happened because of where the problem is, where in your body it is. It is you. They remember the process of digestion goes to your mouth, goes to your esophagus, goes to your stomach, liver, goes small intestine, then large intestine. This
Mhm.
is where the problem is, and the lubrication is normally not there. And so it is hard. Remember, it ends up to your anus. So
Mhm.
if there is nothing to push it out,
Right.
there is no lubrication to put it out, then you're going to be having a problem
Yes. Mhm.
there.
Hard and
And
dry.
so liquid is
Mm.
important. Yeah.
Yes. And constipation comes from a Latin word which means crowded together.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
The bowels should move daily,
Yes.
ideally after
Hmm.
each meal.
Right. Right.
When this does not happen, waste material
Hmm.
moves too slowly through the large bowel
Hmm.
or your large intestine.
Hmm.
Elimination becomes painful and toxins are reabsorbed by the system, placing an overload on the liver and kidneys. Now, all waste in the body should be expelled within 18 to 24
All right,
hours.
and this is important.
Very important.
You know, the kidney, the liver, overwork because the the body takes liquid from the closest source.
Yeah.
are the best source it can find.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the source it finds is that is in the waste. And so one of the things you find is that your body is contaminated
Yeah.
and causes the liver to overwork. Your liver is that organ that is always working, whether you're awake or asleep, because your blood is always being filtered. And so we remember this, so that when we eat anything, we have to eat those things that are helpful to us, and we have to ensure that we drink a lot of water, to flush the system and to help the liver to work. Um, and so we have to make sure that we keep the liver healthy at all times.
Yes. A number of different physical problems are partially caused by constipation.
Hmm.
And one of them is bad breath,
Hmm.
body odor, depression,
Hmm.
appendicitis,
Hmm.
fatigue, gas, headaches, hernia, indigestion, malabsorption syndrome, um, varicose veins,
Yeah.
obesity,
Yeah.
insomnia, and the coated tongue.
Yes,
No.
because remember the gastrointestinal tract. You say the at the end of the gastrointestinal tract is the appendix.
Mhm,
So of course you will have appendix problem if
mhm,
you are having constipation.
mhm. Yeah. So, toxins reabsorbed from a constipated bowel
Hmm.
can also result in migraines, chronic gas and bloating, thyroid problems, meningitis, and um, myasthenia gravis. Constipation tends to be common during pregnancy.
Hmm.
Older people often have constipation because they are not drinking enough water.
Right.
And not just older people, persons in general.
Hmm.
Because it is important, as Nebert was saying, that you lubricate your body, you lubricate your organs. And if there isn't enough water in your system, then it's going to pull your other areas that need lubricating. It's going to pull the water from your intestine,
Yeah, for a large
large
intestine.
intestine, and then you're going to run
Yeah,
into problems.
definitely so.
Persons with spinal injuries may have problems with constipation due to damage of certain nerves. There's always the possibility of that if constipation occurs too frequently,
Hmm.
that cancer or some other obstruction of the bowel may be involved. Other symptoms of colon cancer include severe cramping, blood in the stool, a tender and distended abdomen, and very narrowed feces. But cancer can be present without these symptoms occurring as
Hmm.
well. Alternate diarrhea and constipation may point to irritable bowel syndrome
Hmm.
as well. So constipation is not
Something to be taken lightly.
exactly
Yeah, because a number of things result
as a result of it.
happens as
Mhm,
a result of that,
mhm,
because most cancers in that area, colon, your large intestine is what is known like colon.
mhm,
The part just where the anus, above the anus, is where normally have the problem. um and certain type of foods that we eat,
mhm,
certain type of foods that we get lodged in these areas, and so it is very important to keep it clean, keep the boys clean. This is why what you said a while ago is so very important, is that you have to go every time you eat, because
mhm,
it helps to keep that area clean.
mhm.
Yeah.
And fasting between meals is also very
Fasting is
important.
very important,
Yes.
because when you fast, there is nothing to go out, and so 3 days, like a 3-day fast, and more, a 3-day fast upwards,
Mhm,
what you find is that your body would rid itself of all of these
mhm,
problems that are happening. You're going to one of the things that you're going to talk about is fiber. And this is so very important
Yes.
to avoid constipation.
Yes.
So the type of food that we eat, the processed foods, are the definite problem.
Yeah. So first and foremost,
Mm.
include enough fiber in your diet
Mhm.
each day. And it's
Yes,
not just sometimes, it's all the time, at
all the
every
time.
meal.
And
And
fiber only comes from natural foods, not processed
exactly,
foods.
not processed foods.
Only natural. So you go to the market and you buy a yam and
Mhm.
try to buy those ones that they don't use a lot of fertilizer on. Ask
Mhm.
question.
Mhm.
Ask question. The natural foods and not the processed foods. Natural foods are fiber foods. Once it has gone through the process, and meats, flesh food, does not have any fiber.
Mhm.
Does not have fiber.
When you go
Right?
shopping, the market bag is supposed to be bigger.
The market bag is supposed to be bigger.
More things supposed to
Yeah.
be from the natural
Right.
foods than
Right.
the
And
processed
so
food.
flour, rice,
So
and these things you
yeah,
kind of
eliminate
eliminate,
gradually
gradually
eliminate.
eliminate, gradually eliminate.
Yes. So as we said, you have to have enough fiber in your diet on a
Hmm.
daily basis and
Hmm.
make sure you drink enough water.
Yes, cause
Get
water
enough
flush the system.
exercise as
Yes,
well.
yes,
Yes,
yes.
especially outdoors so you can get enough fresh air.
Right. The
And
eight
here
laws
we
of
go
health.
back to the 8 laws of
Hmm.
health.
Very important. Yeah.
Avoid poisonous substances
Hmm.
and also emotional tension.
Hmm.
Make sure you relax.
Yes.
And godly trust. You
Hmm.
have to be thankful. Be
Yes.
thankful to God for your blessings and take time to be a blessing to others.
Hmm.
Follow the 8 laws of health.
Hmm.
This is very important.
Yes. And let me
Right?
repeat the 8 laws of health. The eight
Mhm.
laws of health is proper nutrition, which is foods that have fiber. Proper nutrition is fruits, nuts, grains, vegetables.
Mhm.
All right. And then exercise, get enough exercise, drink adequate amount of water, get sunlight. Temperance is so very important.
Mhm.
Fresh air, get rest, and ensure that you have godly trust. So that's 8 laws of health. So this is very, very important.
Very important.
We are
So,
talking about constipation and
yeah,
avoiding, and the 8 laws of health is so very important to follow.
important. So,
Hmm.
look at the process now. As soon as you wake up in the morning, well, you would have worship and so on. But you before you even do that, you start drinking water. So
Hmm.
start drinking some warm water, maybe room temperature water, or if you want it a little warmer,
Hmm.
right? And you drink it,
But not hot.
but not hot,
Hmm.
and you drink that. By the time you are ready for breakfast, you should have taken at least a quart of water already in. Should have already intaken a quart of water,
Well, at least 16
at
ounces.
least, yes.
Hmm.
Faithfully follow this regime, and you will develop regularly in your morning bowel movement.
Hmm.
This plan nicely starts the day off right. So
Hmm.
before you have to go to work, before you go to work, you will have your bowel movement. All right? And then you have your breakfast, and that would be after your breakfast. And then right throughout the day, you drink your water
Hmm.
so that later on when you have your meal, your next meal, for you have persons who eat 3 times a day, you have persons who eat twice a day. So if you eat 3 times a day, you should have bowel movement at least 3 times for
Three
the
times
day.
a day.
All
So you're
right.
talking about like persons who work on farm, construction workers, and other persons who have to do heavy work.
Yes.
Those are the three
Hmm.
times a day, mostly 3 times a day people to
Hmm.
eat. Yeah.
Yes. And those people have to eat food,
Yeah, man, you have to eat
not
food with fiber.
right. Yes. Right. So then you can, after breakfast and every other meal, you can go outside and you can take a walk, just a
Hmm.
little walk, not a lot, and do a little deep breathing.
Hmm.
So the larger the amount of fiber in the diet, the larger and softer will your stools be.
Right, right.
Right? You can also squeeze a little lemon juice or lime juice into an 8-ounce glass of warm water, uh,
And drink it
and
first.
drink it first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
But,
eat smaller amounts of food
mm,
at each meal. You can eat prunes or figs. You can drink prune juice. So for those persons who regularly are constipated, these are some of the things that you need to do, so that, and then you develop this habit so that you are not constipated. All right, you can drink some prune juice. Flaxseed meal. Um, you can also make sure it's freshly ground. If you this will be helpful. Both will soften the stools as well. All right. So what you can do to eat the prunes, you can drink prune juice, you can do the flaxseed meal. Grind it and you can eat it. You can also eat it. Some persons have it with some honey. Some persons just have it in some water, and you can, have it like that. Psyllium seed is also good, but make sure you take it quickly with a glass full of water before it solidifies. Beta carotene or carrot juice will maintain the health of the intestinal lining. All right, so you want to do that. Acidophilus, they have this in capsule forms as well. This will keep the large bowel healthy. All right. Now, nursing babies are seldom constipated if their mothers are taking enough bulk, mean fiber, in their diet. Because some babies are constipated when they are nursed by mothers who are not taking enough fiber in their diets. All right, so mommies, you have to make sure that your diet is on the up and up, so that your baby's diet will be on the up and up and will not suffer constipation, because it's really not a nice feeling. All right, licorice tea is good for constipation in babies. High doses of vitamin C are this is a they use the powder. They said it's a quick acting laxative, but when you use the oranges and you eat the inside, this also, and grapefruit, these also help. All right,
drink a lot of water in the process.
Weak chamomile tea can be used for constipation. Fennel seed powder will relieve the griping action of stronger cathartics, such as senna.
Senna is too strong for the baby, too strong for the mother as well. To use.
Stimulant laxatives, these are high in anthraquinones, which stimulate bowel muscle contraction. The most frequently used are senna leaves and cascara sagrada bark. Cascara is the milder of the two. Senna can induce the laxative habit, so do not use it over 10 days. It can be too strong. So senna is powerful and is likely to cause intestinal pains. All right. So add a pinch of ginger or fennel to reduce them.
Right. So aloe vera, some persons once they use aloe vera, then
they're okay.
They will cause movement in the body. Some people just eat coconut.
Yes. Some persons just eat coconut.
Or eat callaloo.
And some persons so you see how important the vegetables are. Some persons eat vegetables and they go like
right. So it's the fiber.
Yeah.
So if you eat a lot of callaloo in particular, then you find that you'll become very regular. Yeah.
So your diet, again, listeners, viewers, is very important.
Yes.
Very, very important. Some persons go to the point where they have to take enemas. All right, they have to take cleansing enemas to relieve the load on the bowel, because then this will give you the back pain and all of that, make you feel so lethargic and all of that. All right, so laxatives are not encouraged, because these, after a while, break down the walls of your intestines and cause further problems.
Right, because this is your anus cancer. That's what happens there, right?
And then you get sores and all of that. So it's best.
Pile too. right? Pile happens
Exactly.
there too.
It is
Right?
best that you eat the foods that
Yeah,
are
and
high
drink
in fiber and
and
drink
drink
a
a lot
lot
of
of
water.
water. Avoid all these things by doing the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
So avoid concentrated foods such as meats,
Mm-hmm.
sugar, and cheese.
Mm-hmm.
They produce constipation.
Mm-hmm.
Dairy foods, soft drinks, white flour, salt, coffee, alcohol, highly processed foods, and sugary foods. These should not be used if you want to solve this problem.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want this problem to be solved forever, don't use these foods. All right. Even supplements, some iron supplements, they cause constipation as
Right,
well.
right.
So do painkillers and antidepressants and all
Mm-hmm.
of these things. So you see, it's best that you go the natural way.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Constipation is sometimes caused by food sensitivity.
Mm-hmm.
The problem may be milk, egg, chocolate, meat, nuts, wheat, corn, or citrus. Now, some people become constipated by drinking large quantities of milk, and these are dairy milk.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a tendency to constipation, do not use aluminum cookware or too much salt. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Eat a eating a amino diet with just milk or greens, etc., can be constipating
Mm-hmm.
as well.
A mono diet, yeah,
Yeah, mono diet.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. So it is best that we avoid these things so that we can stay healthy, be healthy, and avoid being constipated.
Mm.
All right. And of course, we're going to be I'll be sharing the encouragement with you. Now, the fallen world is the battlefield for the greatest conflict the heavenly universe and earthly powers have ever witnessed. It is fought anew in the life of every person born into this world. Both Christ and Satan want to have the control of your life. Now the choice is yours. Which shall it be? Deuteronomy 31 and verse 8. And the
Mm-hmm.
Bible says, choose ye this day whom ye
Mm-hmm.
will serve. All
Mm-hmm.
right? So,
So just before we leave the constipation,
mm-hmm.
just to remind persons
Yes,
that we need to eat food that is rich in fiber,
yes,
and usually this does not include processed foods.
no.
Right? So anything that you buy in a bag that is baked and so on, or processed in any way at all, it will cause you to have constipation. Eat a lot of the what we call in Jamaica ground provisions. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Eat those things are rich in fiber.
And
Eat them,
greens,
eat them, and
your
eat a lot
greens.
of greens,
Yeah.
peas and beans, and
Mm-hmm.
as a matter of fact, stick to the fruits, nuts, grains, vegetable. Right?
The
Those
diet that
fruits,
God
nuts, grains,
prescribes.
vegetable. The
Yes.
one that God gave us is the one that when we participate in that diet, then we will be free
Mm-hmm.
from constipation,
Yes.
because our bodies are made up in such a way to to if we put anything in it that is not supposed to be there, then we have a problem. We inevitably have a problem. There are some persons who you are used to eating certain things from the day you were born, and says,
Mm-hmm.
man, this is what I was born eating, so I will continue eating it. But that is why you have the problems all the time.
Yeah.
Because as you rightly said about when you're encouraging part a while ago, it says that we live in a fallen world. A
Mm-hmm.
fallen world says that you eat certain things
Yeah.
and don't eat the things that God says that you're supposed to eat, because Satan insists on you doing these things so that you can kill yourself.
Mm-hmm.
If you die without accepting the Lord, this is what Satan wants. And so if you notice, the things that we normally participate of in eating are those things that Satan pushes all the time, the fast foods and the processed foods and these things,
Mm-hmm.
so that you do not have time to worship God. All right, I want to welcome.
Um, Nashawn,
Yeah,
Nashawn Jerry, Nashani.
Oh, Nashani, yes.
Welcome, Nashani.
Welcome, Nashani. Good to have you.
Yes,
I
good
met her the other
evening.
day, yes.
Yes, good
Worked
evening.
with Terry, yeah.
Okay, so now
Mhm.
we're at the other extreme now. We have just looked at constipation. Now we're
Right,
going to be looking at diarrhea.
right.
So the symptoms of diarrhea include frequent and loose watery bowel movements.
Mm-hmm.
This is often accompanied by cramping,
Mm-hmm.
abdominal pain, thirst, sudden need to eliminate, also vomiting, and possible fever.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, severe diarrhea can produce a loss of essential electrolytes,
Mm-hmm.
such as potassium, and result in pale pallor,
Right.
listlessness,
Mm-hmm.
and dark circles
Right.
under the eyes.
Pain pallor is the your skin,
Your
how you
skin,
look. You look
yes. Yes.
sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Mm-hmm.
look drained because there is a lack of electrolyte in the body,
In
the
the body,
fluids.
yes.
So
And this is why
yeah.
laxative is discouraged,
Mm-hmm.
because it can cause you to have severe diarrhea,
Yeah.
severe frequent bowel
Right.
movement, and then you will lose all these things.
Right.
All right, so diarrhea in infants is very serious.
Mm-hmm.
Um, something must be done right away.
Yes.
If the child has 5 or more watery stools a day, it is diarrhea.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So possible causes of diarrhea include overeating,
Mm-hmm.
food poisoning,
Mm-hmm.
stress, incomplete digestion of food, taking certain drugs
Mm-hmm.
like for flu, intestinal parasites as well, caffeine, contaminated water, infection, it can be viral or bacterial, eating certain foods such as unripe fruit or spoiled, protein or rancid fats, eating soap, yes, from improperly rinsed dishes, ingesting certain chemicals,
Mm-hmm.
inflammatory bowel disease, or like Crohn's disease and
Mm-hmm.
ulcerative colitis and so on. Cancer can also be a factor.
Mm-hmm.
Traveling to foreign countries and eating and things eating foods that you have never eaten before, or some persons love to travel and try all kind of foods and stuff. Food poisoning can also be a factor. Poor digestion, lactose intolerance from milk products and so forth. All right.
Sorbitol.
Sorbitol, the synthetic sweetener
Mm-hmm.
found in diet products, can also cause diarrhea.
Right.
Um, Giardia lamblia,
Mm-hmm.
this is a microscopic parasite and is the most common form of waterborne infestation in in the US. And most of these studies are out of the US. Now, a rich meal of wine, lobster, creamy desserts, and all the trimmings is a good start toward diarrhea. It is all too much for the body to handle. The body rejects the whole thing and sends it all out.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Dysentery
Mm-hmm.
is diarrhea which is caused either by a diseased organism of some kind,
Mm-hmm.
or overeating of those rich foods, some of what we
Mm-hmm.
just mentioned. The symptoms are the same as diarrhea, but may be longer lasting.
Mm-hmm.
Now, breastfed babies are less likely to develop diarrhea than those which are bottle fed.
Mm-hmm. And looking at all of these things about diarrhea, we realize that our body is really and truly fearfully and wonderfully made.
Ah,
Um, if you put things in it that your body rejects it, then
just
the body
sends
has
it
to find a
right
way to
out.
get rid of it and to get rid of all of it. But the problem is in the process of getting rid of it, other things are going to be happening to you as well.
Yes, yes,
And
you're
yeah,
going to be losing those things that will
yes,
help to upkeep your body.
right.
So, treatment and prevention require clean food, clean food sources. Now, careful food storage and preparation, self-discipline and cleanliness are some of the things that we need to consider.
Yes.
Because of the ongoing diarrhea, as much as 30% more protein than normal is needed, as well as an increased intake of minerals and trace elements. Avoid xanthine containing foods such as chocolate, tea, coffee, and spicy foods. Also avoid drugs, cold liquids, and carbonated beverages. All these may produce diarrhea. Milk may also induce diarrhea. Lactose intolerance and virus are leading causes of diarrhea. In the case of chronic diarrhea, electrolyte and trace mineral deficiencies are likely. Rice water, lime water, potato broth, and fruit will help restore lost electrolytes. Use fiber foods in order to tighten the bowels and stop the diarrhea. So you see, fiber is very important. Fiber is like cayenne pepper. That it works both ways.
Yeah. Fiber, the food you eat has fiber. Yeah.
Yes.
Natural foods.
Yes. Garlic is helpful in purifying the gastrointestinal tract.
Right. As well as cardiac. Yeah.
Yes, very good antibiotics both. Carob powder is high in protein and helps to stop diarrhea as well. It is rich in tannins, which helps the bowel wall resist diarrhea.
Yeah, rich in tannins.
Yeah, the tannins.
Yes. The carob powder. As children, we used to eat a lot of the carob. But we didn't know that is what they used to make the carob. Yeah, we call it cocoa. Yeah, cocoa. On the riverside.
Right.
Yeah, cocoa bars. I used to eat those.
Yeah. It is good for young children and infants with diarrhea.
Yeah.
So you can give 15 grams of carob powder with applesauce for children. You can give them that, and that will help with the diarrhea. Keep liquid consumption high in order to replace the lost fluids.
And also to flush the system.
Yes. It is recommended that no raw fruit juices be given until the acute stage is passed.
Yes, because it actually causes it. So it exacerbates the problem.
Right. And antacids, these are the most common cause of drug-related diarrhea. Antibiotics and a number of other medicinal drugs also cause diarrhea.
Right.
While you have diarrhea, do not prepare food for others and wash your hands carefully. So they can be contaminated as well. Apple pulp is rich in pectin. Apples and applesauce are centuries-old remedies for diarrhea. Now, apple pectin also treats constipation by softening the stool. So that works both ways as well.
Yeah, remember at the top of the program we spoke about the guava leaf, the sweet sap leaf, and even the sour sap leaf to help to stem the tide of diarrhea. Yeah.
Psyllium is also also helps diarrhea too. Helpful herbs include white oak bark and astringent, which stops diarrhea. Also useful are American blackberry, barley, clove root, whortleberry, blackcurrant, burdock, and echinacea. All right. And there are others: dried fruits of bilberry and blueberry, blackberry, the bark or the roots. These are used, and of course, as we mentioned before, the carob powder. You can use cooked carrots, fenugreek seeds. Also, peppermint tea will allay spasms, diarrhea, or digestive disturbances. Cooked rice controls irritable diarrhea as well. Slippery elm tea provides soothing relief. All right. also,
make things flow.
yes, so
Smooth.
right.
Mhm.
So you can also slipper empty, this provide release, and you can also do, they have like the capsules, the slipper
Mhm.
M capsules. You can open it and mix it with water and make a paste with it, all right, to
Mhm.
use. Or you can mix it with mashed banana or applesauce, even preferably for children, and you can use that as well.
All right, Cyprien
Slipper
is the
M
same in Jamaica as Basida.
Basida.
Right, so Basida grows everywhere. We call it bastard seed, but Basida for short.
Yeah. All right, so bananas restore lost potassium and
Mhm.
also add fiber.
Mhm.
All right, so make sure,
Coconut water,
right, you have, yes, electrolyte.
electrolyte. Yeah.
Right, so you can drink a lot of coconut water. Make sure you drink a lot of fluid,
Mhm.
water, preferably no fruit juices during this acute um, diarrhea. All right. Make sure your food that you eat is filled with the nutrients and the vitamins that you need.
Mhm.
Brewer's yeast has been shown to alter the immune system or the flora lining,
The
or
flora
the
living.
flora living in the intestine,
Mhm.
and may relieve infectious diarrhea
Right, and brewers yeast you can get it to buy in
in
Jamaica.
Jamaica. Yes.
So what almost any supermarket you can get it.
Yes. So betaine,
Mhm. Hydrochloride.
hydrochloride, and this is a supplemental thing, but this also helps some people with diarrhea. All right. So if you want to
Stop immediately.
stop diarrhea immediately, no, some say to use bran and pectin foods in order to tighten the bowels and stop the diarrhea. Others say to let it run its course in order to rid the problem foods, like
Out of the system.
right,
Mhm.
out of the system. So you let it run its course. So whatever it is, it will go out. Generally, it is considered best to use fiber foods to get the diarrhea stopped.
Mhm.
When increasing fiber intake, also increase fluid intake,
Mhm.
because you're losing a lot of fluid
Yeah.
during the diarrhea.
Mhm.
So you want to um, put back the fluid that you have lost.
Yeah.
The deciding factor is whether the diarrhea was caused by a bacteria or
Mhm.
a virus.
Mhm.
Now, if caused by either, you want the body to throw it off through the bowels.
Mhm.
If this will happen fairly rapidly,
Right.
you can help it
Yeah.
along.
And so you consume immediately some papaya seeds
hmm
to
Yes, if
help to
it's
get rid of that,
parasites, right?
or drink some cloves,
Yes, if it's
right?
bacteria.
Once it's bacteria.
Yes. So if the diarrhea is caused by food poisoning, give activated charcoal.
Activated
You
charcoal
can
can be
use
used,
that.
yes.
Yes.
Hmm.
All right. So these are some of the, because then this
Hmm.
is poisoning of the body. So you
Hmm.
want the activated charcoal to eliminate the poisons from your body.
Hmm.
Now, a word of encouragement that we want to leave with you. Um, it says, if Christ abides in your heart, you will be happy and full of praise and joy. The cries of life The crises of life are as nothing compared to the bright future God has in store for you. Stand true to Him, and soon heaven will be yours. John 14 and verse 18. You
Hmm.
know, we were told that we have to choose our food properly. Our food selection is very important. All right? So, the foods should be chosen that best supply the elements needed for building up our bodies. All right? And let us not cultivate these bad habits of eating just anything and any way. God has made us, and He wants us to prosper in health, even as our souls prosper. All right. Want to thank those who have joined us on YouTube this evening and those who have joined us on the radio for being with us. I hope that the information that has been disseminated has been useful and that we will be obedient to God's word. Let us follow the 8 laws of health so that we can be healthy and so that we can be used to do the work that He has for us to do. All right? Let us pray. Our kind, compassionate Heavenly Father, we are truly grateful for your mercies towards us. We are grateful, Lord, that you have granted us this opportunity to share these information with persons. We are grateful for this program because, Lord, we ourselves have been learning and have been practicing these things and we are better for it. I pray that as they have listened, that they too will practice these things and be healthier. I pray that you may help us to look to you always and to follow the path that you have set out for us. Help us to continuously practice the 8 laws of health so that we may be healthy people. Bless us now, we pray, and I pray that we will surrender our all to you, our appetites, so that you can lead us in the right path. Bless us and be with us now. In Jesus' name I pray and say thanks. Amen.
Amen.
Have a wonderful and productive week, and please stay healthy and let God lead in your lives.
All right.